Do you know how to start getting the most out of your life? Hey, Jason, if you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me now 9 years on this expat slash nomadic journey. As I've been traveling across the world, I am on my fourth country, third continent, in Lusaka, Zambia, in the southern region of Africa. And one of the things I've started doing now is sharing with you some of the tips and tricks I've learned along the way to continue living this expat nomadic lifestyle. And most importantly, sharing with you in case you're looking to become an expat or already is one, why you should be considering Lusaka, Zambia as an option, as a place to come to. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get the camera right. And so let's go ahead and get into today's video. How do you start getting what you want out of life? Like getting what you truly desire. Most people will say, oh, I can get everything I want. I just need the money. I was one of those that used to say that too. I'm going to be honest with you. However, the truth is, it's not about the money. The money can come and go at any time. The key to it is, and this is something school does not teach nowhere around the world, at least from that I've seen personally, because through my travels, I've seen there's this common thread amongst everywhere you go. Get a good education and get a good job. Life will be better. And I'm telling you, it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that some people don't go get a good education and get a good job, but I'm saying it's not happening for everyone. Everyone has been forced into this same box of go to school, get an education, get a good job. But yet the people who are the most educated are usually some of the ones that are the most unemployed. And I've been, for past few years, I've been asking myself, why is this the situation? And no matter where you go, like I saw it in Colombia, I saw it in Panama, you see it throughout the United States, you see it throughout Africa. And I'm like, here I'm in Zambia. I've seen so many registered nurses and they're unemployed. In Botswana, I ran into somebody who was a chemist, unemployed, driving InDrive, their version of Uber. Even here, you meet people, agriculture specialists, all of these things, going to getting these different educations and these different degrees and certifications. Yet the thing that is actually earning them money is something they didn't even need a degree or education in. They didn't even have to spend a quarter of the money they spent on education to what they're doing to actually earn money. And the thing is, to truly get what you want in life, it is different for each individual person, but it takes the same thing no matter who you are. And that's sacrifice. You have to sacrifice parts of who you are to become the person that you want to be. It's not money. Money does not make you a better person or a worse person. Money just amplifies who you are right now at this present moment. And it's funny because the person I was 7 years ago was not a person that was equipped to be able to travel the world by himself. The person who I was 15 years ago was not a person that was equipped to be financially independent. I had to start sacrificing parts of my life to become the person that you see today. And this is the thing that I think most people are afraid of, because we've been taught to hold on to our identity. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. I'm not changing for no one. You should want to change each and every day you wake up to be a better version of you. And when you start doing those sacrifices, you start seeing the things that you're sacrificing are not even things that are helping boost your life. There's things that's probably holding you down. Like, to give you an example, when people hear like, oh, you don't drink, how do you do that? You're missing out on the fun. Man, you don't know what you're missing out on. I'm like, I do know what I'm missing out on. I'm missing out on hangovers. I'm missing out on being unproductive for more than one day. I'm missing out on wasting money. Man, you gonna just park right there? Yeah, people just be having these loud cars. Hopefully you can hear me good on here. Hopefully this car is about to leave. But like, those are the things that I sacrificed to become the person I was. I also remember up to 2022, I was married for 10 years in a relationship with CC, total of 15 years. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be married or in a relationship with a drunk. Nobody wants to be married or in a relationship with someone who's just out partying, clubbing all night. Like, those are not things that are going to help you have a positive, healthy relationship. And I wanted a positive, healthy relationship. Ever since I was a little kid, I said if I was to ever get married, I was just going to do it one time. And divorce is not an option. Like, I didn't want to be one of those statistics where you were married and then you end up getting a divorce. Just not something I wanted to do. And so for me, I was willing to sacrifice a lot of that. But what made me get to that sacrifice? And this is what a lot of people, I don't think I've spoken about this on any of my videos. I think I've only spoken about it when I was doing my coaching videos, while I was doing live streams coaching on Fridays. But one of the things I started doing I realized I wasn't a great husband and I wasn't a great partner. I was like, I need someone to teach me. And so at that time I had met two Jewish guys and, we just hit it off. We all smoked weed together, but we hit it off. Like we had the same common goals. They were in a relationship. They wasn't married at the time, but they were wanting to get married. They was wanting to get certain financial goals and things accomplished. Same thing like me. And so like we were meeting up weekly and, we would smoke a joint, hang out, and then we would start talking. They would start teaching me the Torah. Because like for me, I didn't grow up with Jewish people. Only thing I've heard was, the things you hear on TV and the bad stories you hear. And so I didn't know nothing about them. And I was just like, clearly y'all seem like good people. I didn't think y'all would be smoking weed. And we all were military veterans, so we were using it medicinally, by the way. So that's what most people don't know. I use it medicinally when I'm in a country where it's legal to do it. And so we started reading the Torah. They would break some things down to me. Like some things, it didn't make sense in English, so they would have to tell it to me in Hebrew, but then give me examples so I could get a clear picture of it in my head to try to apply those things. And those were the things that made me and taught me to be a better man, to be a better husband, to be a more compassionate husband. Like one of the things, like even if you see me now, like if I'm out on a date somewhere, like I always open the door. Like I tell a woman in a minute, hey, stop acting like a savage. You're not in the bush. Like put your hands down. I'm gonna get that door. Like if it's something that need opening, like a Coke bottle or something, I'm gonna open it. And those are different things that I learned, and I started sacrificing parts of myself to become that guy to where it's now just part of who I am. And that's the key. Like once you start sacrificing parts of who you are, the new parts that you gain from it are better parts, but they become a part of your physiology. It's like coding. They become a part of your code of who you are in your body. It just becomes a natural reaction. And so really think about this. The last time you've ever really accomplished something, whether big or small, what was it that you sacrificed for it? Whenever you're achieving a goal, you're sacrificing something. You don't just say, oh, I want to be a millionaire, and then you wake up and you become a millionaire. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I want to be 100 kilograms, and you go from 200 to 100 kilograms overnight. You start sacrificing things through time. Why would they do that? I mean, not even put any energy into that. Just some kids rolling water barrels and they just let one go. The things that people do. But like, think about that. Last time you sacrificed something, what was it? What did you accomplish from the sacrifice? Because the thing that we're not taught in school is whatever you accomplish, whatever you're sacrificing to accomplish something, the thing that you get is usually 10 to 20 or 30 times greater than what you gave up. And so that's the key. That is the actual key to life. Life is about sacrifice. You're sacrificing something to get a better life. Because one of the things that we're not taught to is that each day you wake up is a new chance at life. Most of us are so busy focused on the present, on the future, and so busy, most of us are so busy focused on the future or the past. We don't realize how powerful the present moment is right now. Right now is the only time that you really have. If you don't start sacrificing something right now, how are you going to achieve something tomorrow? This is why so many people have New Year's resolutions over and over and over again. It's the same resolution every time. And the thing is, when you look at their actions, they don't sacrifice anything. They say what they want, but words without actions is nothing. Like, it's just untapped potential. We all have the potential to do and be anything we want in this world, but it's the actions that's getting us there. This is a physical world that we live in. And so you have to do some parts of the physical. And just to give you an example, like, this is the book that I'm reading now, what every real estate investor needs to know about cash flow. And I read this book. It has some formulas, things like that. Even though I'm starting to get into real estate development here in Zambia, guess what? I still have to sacrifice and learn. I have to learn things. And that's what it takes. And so I also want to reach to you this one passage out of You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. I highly recommend getting this book. If you can't find a physical copy or you don't have the money, you can actually get it on YouTube. Just go to Proctor Gallagher Institute. They have it down there in their playlist, or you can just type in You Were Born Rich. It's an audio book. They're flipping through the pages, so you can literally just have them reading it to you. But the key is, are you even willing to sacrifice just going to YouTube and listen to the book? Because if the answer is no, you're not going to get anything from it. Like, that is, think about that. But what I'm reading is page 9, and this is the prosperity consciousness exercise. And the reason why I wanted to read this one is because, one, during my meditation, it came up to me while I was meditating for 40 minutes today. But two, most of us have money goals that we want to achieve. Even I have more money goals I want to achieve. However, most of us don't even know where to start to achieve those goals. And so this is where you start. This is your foundation right here. So like, if you have any money goal in the world, this is how you start it. And so I want to read this whole little excerpt. It's just about a page and a half. So let's read this, and then we're going to go into it. Prosperity consciousness exercise. Now that we have touched upon some of the characteristics of money, let us turn briefly to a simple technique. It's a technique. Like, to learn how to sacrifice becomes a technique, which you can begin using immediately to start attracting the amount of money you desire. Now, that's the key. What do you desire? Like, just saying I want a lot of money is saying nothing to the universe. Most of us have been taught how to pray incorrectly. We've been taught to throw our problems, not to focus on what we want. And this is why a lot of us are not operating from the Christ consciousness, because we're not actually truly understanding what we desire. And I'm going to do a video breaking that down about how we've been taught to pray incorrectly. I don't think it's a horrible thing. I don't think it's like one of those malicious things, but I think it's one of those things that, because of the state of the world that it once used to be, things just got whacked out of control. And we just need to start fixing these things and fine tuning them. And so it says, the first thing that I want you to do is to picture yourself in your mind's eye, using your imagination. This is a higher faculty. The modern school system that we live in and operate under, and we're programmed under, teaches us the imagination is bad. The imagination is a gift from God, is a way to communicate with God. The imagination is one of the strongest ways to send a prayer to God, if you know how to do it correctly. Most of us imagine negativity on a daily basis. Most of us or consuming things that are picking up on our imagination. And this is why we're not getting the things that we want in life. And I can break that down in another future video also. So he says, in your mind's eye, sitting in a room with several of your friends. Then I want you to visualize yourself announcing to them your intention of becoming wealthy, at least wealthy enough to live the way you choose to live. This is one of the biggest things that a lot of us don't understand. This is why I said, just saying I want a lot of money is not enough. You need to know what you want. What type of lifestyle do you want? Do you want to be vacationing quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily? What life do you want to have? What is it that you desire? And so you have to start imagining that. And there's ways to, if you're having problems kickstarting your imagination, there's simple techniques that I will tell you at the end of this to start actually triggering your imagination without you doing anything. And then he says, excuse my eyes itching. Now imagine how that would make you feel. Feelings are very key. Feelings are emotions. That is energy and emotion. To send prayers to God, to the Creator, whatever word you're using. The reason why I use the word God is because I have a foundation of Christianity. That's how I was programmed coming into this world. But if you need to transition that word or change it out for a different word that you grew up with, use it. Like, I'm not someone who's saying you got to be a Christian. I'm just using my foundation. So those are the words that are in me. Emotions is the way to send prayers. That is energy and motion. We live in an energetic universe. So you have to get the energy in motion in the proper way. If you're like most people, you would probably feel very uncomfortable. Now ask yourself this. If you're talking about the things that you desire for your life, why would you feel uncomfortable? If you had all the money that you truly wanted to live the life that you truly wanted, you wouldn't be a bad person. You wouldn't be harming people. You would probably be doing good. You would probably be helping the world be a better place. So why have we all been programmed to be uncomfortable? Uncomfortable is a negative emotion. It is sending negative energy in motion. Like, that's the catch. Like, you got positive and negative energy that you can send. And most of us have been programmed to send out negative energy. And so then it says that you might even, perhaps you would feel so uncomfortable that you might even retract what you had said by informing your friends you were only joking. I'm guilty of this. I was guilty of this for so many years of my life. Oh, I want to do this. No, I'm just joking. Oh, I want to do this. No, I'm just joking. The first time as an adult, a young adult, that I fully was committed to sending the energy of the things I wanted was when I was getting ready to go to the military. Because I knew I wasn't going to go to the university, go to college. I was like, it was a waste of money. Everyone that I was seeing was coming out of the university and they wasn't getting these good jobs. They was told that they would be out there. And then on top of that, a lot of people were just having kids in college. And I was like, bro, that's a lifelong commitment. Now you got to pay child support if you and the mother of the child don't get along, or the families don't get along. You got all these issues. And so I was like, there's no point in me going to the university. Either I can find a way to get a good job straight out of high school, or I was like, I'm going to the military. And when I told people I was going to the military, you know how many people laughed? You know how many people told me I'm being dumb? You know how many people told me, oh, I'm not fighting in the white man war? And I was like, that's you. Do what you do, bro. Like, I don't care about you. I was like, this is my life. I'm doing it. And guess what happened? I went to the military. I got military intelligence, had a top secret. Did I have to go to war? Yes, unfortunately. It wasn't something that was going on when I actively joined. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. If I knew we were going to actively be in war, I probably wouldn't have went. I would have changed my desires to something else. But that was the first time as a young adult I truly said, this is what I desire. This is to better my life. Going to the military was going to put me in a position that would help my life. I didn't care about what anybody else said. I didn't care about what anybody else felt. It was my desire. I was like, this is my life. I'm not going to sit here and be another black male statistic on the street. I'm not going to sit here and be another black male statistic just having babies that I can't take care of. And so look at my life now. I made that sacrifice going to the military. And look at me now. I'm living in my fourth country on my third continent. I've been able to travel the world. I've been able to do things that I never thought was even in the options that someone who grew up in Dallas, Texas could do. I've been to London. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to South Korea. I've been on cruises, like all of these things that I was able to experience. And I'm pretty sure most of the people who grew up in the community I grew up in haven't done half of these things. But this is the reason why. And this is why I'm reading this to go with sacrifice, because these things go hand in hand. And then it says, let me read that sentence over. Perhaps you will feel so uncomfortable that you might even retract what you had said by informing your friends you were only joking. You should understand, however, that people who are wealthy never feel uncomfortable when the subject of money is brought up. Why don't they, you ask? The most obvious answer would be because they already have lots of it. But that is not the correct answer. You should realize that people don't feel comfortable about money because they have it. They have it because they feel comfortable about it. In other words, one of the reasons that wealthy people have money is that they have developed that state of consciousness we will hereinafter refer to as prosperity consciousness. Therefore, it follows, if we wish to attract money to ourselves, we must begin to foster a prosperity consciousness as well. Now, the key with prosperity consciousness, it doesn't just mean money. It can also mean, do you want a happy, healthy relationship? Then you got to get away from people who are talking about unhealthy relationships. If you want a happy, healthy marriage, you have to start looking at people who have happy, healthy marriages. You have to picture yourself in a happy, healthy marriage. Here's a prime example. Like I was watching one of the Pop the Balloon or Find Love shows. I think these shows are great shows because it teaches you the psychology of how people are thinking. And one of the young ladies on there, beautiful young lady, looked really well. And the way she presented herself, you was like, okay, this is probably a woman that's ready for marriage. But the way she was picking, the things she was saying, it was like, things are not adding up. Then you go look at her Instagram. She does OnlyFans. And I'm not knocking people who do OnlyFans. Whatever you want to do to make money is your choice. However, do you think you're going to really meet a traditional man who wants to be a provider and protector to someone who does that type of content on the internet? I'm not saying it's a moral incorrect thing. I'm just saying, me as a guy, I don't want to have kids with someone who's doing that. I don't want to even be associated in a relationship with someone who's doing that type of content. Hell, I'm so bad, I don't even like women who go to clubs or drink a lot. Like if you drink more than 2 drinks in front of me at one sitting, I don't like it. It's a turnoff for me because I know what I desire in my mind, how I want relationships to look, how I want the relationship with the person that I want to be with look. And so like the prosperity consciousness can get you everything that you actually want and desire. And one of the things you may have heard is, I remember my grandmother used to say this. I think everybody's grandma used to say this. You need to be, how did she used to say it? You need to be grateful for what you have. It was something like that. Like you need to be grateful for what you have. Man, I can't remember it right now. I wiped it out of my memory so much as far as like me thinking that way. And the thing is, no, you need to be, I can't remember. If you remember what I'm talking about, please leave it in the comments. It was one of those things about you need to be happy for what you need or something, quit focusing on what you want, something like that. But like saying you need to quit wanting more. Unfortunately, my grandmother was wrong. It doesn't mean she was a bad person. She was just wrong. You should always be focused on what you want. You should be grateful for what you have, but you should always be focused on wanting more. You should always want more in life. We live in an abundant life. This world is meant for us to achieve and to want more, 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 more. Because the thing is, once you reach a goal, that goal, the thing that you reach, it doesn't fulfill you anymore. Wanting more things fulfill you. Life is about fulfillment. And so let me go ahead and just finish off this little section. The question you should now be asking yourself is this. Now, please write this part down. How do I go about developing this prosperity consciousness for myself? Let me read that question again. Please write this down. How do I go about developing this prosperity consciousness for myself? One of the reasons our prayers do not get answered in the way that we want them answered, we do not know how to ask correctly. So many times it's, why, Lord? Why am I? Why this? Please help me. Those are not prayers. Those are whining. And I'm not being mean here. Please hear me on this. You have to ask the question to yourself. The answers for you are within yourself. Your body is the temple. My body is my temple. You have to get the answers through the temple. The temple, this body, this is where we get the answers from God. God communicates through all of us. It is called thought. When you ask the right questions, you will get the right thought. The right thought is an image. Like for me, when I go into do my meditations, I am speaking with God. I'm listening to God. That's what they mean by about let go. Give and let go. Like give to God and let go. It's relaxing your body. It's closing your mind. Like closing your mind from your conscious mind from overthinking. So many times we want to control things. And I'm a control freak by nature. However, you have to give to God and let go. You have to give God the question, the appropriate question, and then let go, relax, and let God give you the thought. That is the key. And so one more time with this question. How do I go about developing this prosperity consciousness for myself? And then Bob says, let me explain. The best way to develop a prosperity consciousness is to start seeing yourself in your mind's eye, already in possession of the amount of money that you desire. Now, this book is talking about money, but this is about everything. You have to see it in your mind's eye. Your mind's eye is your ego, actually. The ego is not the enemy. Your identity is your enemy. It's your identity that sometimes blocking your blessings. Sometimes it's the identity of, oh, I'm a man, I'm going to figure it out. Oh, I'm just hard, I do this. Sometimes that is the problem. It's the identity. It's not the ego. The ego is the projection. It's the visual. The ego is what turns the imagination into an image in your mind. If you literally just sit back, and I'm going to give you an exercise to do this, and it's going to show you, and I want you to try this, and then come back to this video and leave a comment to let me know if it worked for you. But like, if you just sit back, relax, your ego will start taking those thoughts and turning them into pictures. And those are the answers usually to your prayer. Through those pictures is the answer to what you're looking for, of how to get everything that you want. And then Bob says, the reason this is so is that since the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between the actual possession of money and mere visualization. In visualization, I'm going to do a whole video going through visualization by Gertrude Bertrand. It's wonderful exercise to really break down what visualization means. You will soon become very comfortable with the idea of money. Remember, idea is a thought. Idea is a thought. And when it becomes an ideal, IDEAL, it's a thought you have fell in love with. Love is an emotion. Love is energy in motion. Love is one of the strongest energetic motions that you can send out with prayer. Think about that. A woman can be less than 100 pounds. And if a tree falls on her child, on a car or something, through love, her love for that child, God, the creator, whatever you want to call it, can send her the enough energy, because she sent that that emotion into the ether. God can send her the energy back to lift that tree to save her child. Love is a very strong emotion. Love is actually one of the strongest misused emotions out here. This is why most people who say they're in love with someone, they're actually not in love. Like, they're not sending the appropriate emotion. Like, a lot of people use love in a controlling way. That's not a love. That's control. And so we'll talk about that another day too. As a result, you will start attracting it to yourself. Then Bob says, this may sound like a game you're playing, but let me assure you, it is one of the wisest things you can possibly do. For when you succeed in convincing your subconscious mind that you are wealthy and that it feels good to be wealthy, your subconscious mind will automatically seek ways of making your imaginary feelings of wealth manifest themselves in a material form. And what this is just saying, as is above is below. The energy you send up to God is the energy that comes back to you. If you can be completely honest with yourself on this one. Actually, no, I'm going to just give you my story. I think it's easier for you to hear my story. The reason why I have put on weight these last 2 years, like if you see my videos, I've gotten fatter. It just is what it is. The energy I've been sending up to God is depression, sadness, longing, feeling unworthy. The death of CC broke me. Like, I'm not going to lie about it. I don't sugarcoat that. Losing her broke me. It broke me. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that. We were living in such a great state. Our marriage was doing wonders. Like, our businesses were doing great. We quadrupled our money that we were making. Like, everything was going great. And then when that happened, the energy I sent up was despair, hurt, scared, anger, fear. Those are negative emotions. And guess what happened? I lost all of my retirement in one of the investments I was doing. Yes, I could blame the Biden administration, but guess what? I wasn't doing my part. Because if I was doing my part, I would have gotten the images. I would have seen what to do. But I wasn't moving. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there depressed. Also, I was overeating. I was eating things I don't even like eating. Depressed eating a bunch of sweets, junk. I don't even like sweets. Like, that is the reason why I became in the state that I had became in. But here's the beautiful thing about it. And this is the thing about it is, you will still hold on to a certain level of prosperity consciousness. I didn't go flat broke. I lost my retirement, but I didn't go flat broke. I still had more than enough money to live off of. But then when I started back changing just a little bit of the energy that I was sending up in prayers, look at where I'm at now. I'm in Africa. I'm in a place where I have 20 hectares of farmland. I have land that I'm going to start developing with tiny homes. I'm waiting on the city council to approve me for another plot that I'm going to get near Lundazi, in a new area that they're going to start developing. The opportunities were always around me. It was just me not sending up the appropriate energy to get everything correctly. And that's what I've been fixing on these last 2 years. And look, I'm not going to say it was easy. Even as someone who's been studying this stuff for years, doing this, when life happens, it happens. But also, you have to remember, life is about sacrifice. Sometimes to get those huge goals you want, you have to sacrifice huge things. And unfortunately, I had to sacrifice my marriage. Losing my wife is what helped me get to the next stage. But I wasn't ready for it before that. Like one day I'm gonna do a live video and just really go deep down into some of the things. You need to go in. You good. You can go in. It's open. And so one day I'm gonna do a live stream going deep into those things. And then let's go ahead and finish off this last paragraph. If these last few lines seem like sheer fantasy to you, just ignore them for the time being and continue reading. We will be dealing with prosperity consciousness at different points in the book, and I guarantee you that before you finish this book, those lines will start to make a lot more sense to you. And so this is the simple technique of how you do this. If you're having problems with your imagination kicking in, if you can't go into your mind's eye, your ego, and just start automatically picturing the things that you want for yourself, what you need to do, one, control what you're watching at night before you go to bed. I usually say about 4 hours before bed. One of the things I do, as soon as it starts getting dark, I do not watch anything about murder. I don't watch anything about killing. I don't watch any action movies. I don't watch any of those things. I either watch lighthearted things that make me laugh, or I watch things that are educational. One of the things I like to do is just put on a video, even while I'm sleeping, of frequency music, healing frequencies, hertz, things of that nature. And also I even put videos on, and they be just on my cell phone, just on the side of my bed while I'm sleeping, of tiny homes. And I put it on repeat. I put it on a loop. Figure out something that you want for your life in the next year. And the reason why I say the next year, I want you to see how far you can go really, really fast. You'll start seeing things come around really fast, and it's scary. Like a buddy, not a buddy, it's my brother. So one of my brothers, not by blood, but we brothers, I had started getting him listening to some of the money affirmation songs by Eddie Watkins Jr., some of those. And he was listening to it all night. And then he had contacted me. He's like, bro, man, all these opportunities are coming for me out of nowhere. He's like, man, I'm kind of scared now. And then I told him, I was like, man, ain't that a good fear to have? There's so many opportunities are coming to you. You're afraid you might choose the wrong opportunity. And like, think about that. Don't you want to be living in a state of fear that where so many good things are coming to you? You're afraid all these good things that something might be the wrong one. That's a hell of a lot better than all the negative things that's coming to you, or Murphy's Law, or saving for a rainy day. Like, start saving for a sunny day. And this is one of the ways you can do it, is by programming your mind before you go to sleep. And so I would recommend whatever it is that you desire. You have to desire this. Then find a video about it on YouTube and just search. If it's money, positive money videos, money affirmation videos, there's so much stuff out here. If it's getting your own house, start just putting up, researching videos about getting a house. If you want to travel more, start watching shows about traveling. And you watch it up to the point you're falling asleep, just dozing off. You're going to start you're going to start imagining yourself traveling. Even when you're watching those videos, you're going to start realizing you're daydreaming, which is using your imagination. You're going into your ego and you're just visualizing fully on where you want to go, what you want to do. And you're going to start seeing those things coming to you. That's how I started getting on cruises. That's actually how I started before I decided to move overseas and become an expat / nomad full time. I was watching those international house hunters. I would watch it day and night. Some of them the same episodes over and over and over and over. And then after a while, I didn't see myself living in the United States anymore. Look at me now, I'm in Africa, guys. And so I just wanted to share that with you. My apologies, this is a long video. I don't know if I should cut this up, but I'm gonna just put it on there. The first one, I'm gonna just put it up there fully. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this stuff? Let me know in the comments if you're trying this out. If you try this out, come back in 3 days and re-comment on this video and let people know how it's working for you. If you're already doing this, leave it in the comments and let people know. we have to stop gatekeeping this information. We need to start really opening up and becoming a vulnerable society. Vulnerability doesn't mean to be hurt. Vulnerability just means letting people know the truth, like letting people know what really goes on. And for guys out there, like I really want a lot of men to see that being tough is not the best thing. Being tough is not the strongest thing. Like you have to do certain things correctly. You got to express love. You got to express emotions. And for men, because we've been taught to express only negative emotions, that's what it means to be a man. That's why most men are not living longer lives. That's why most men are not happy. And so just wanted to share that with you today. This was just something that was really touched on my heart from my meditation. And so let me know what you think about this in the comments. And most importantly, just remember this. I'm Jason. Success is simple once you know how.